What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy RTY here, and today we are going to be talking Perona, one of the newest leaders here in OP06. And let me just say, this leader is actually a ton of fun to play as, right? It has all the core accents of black that we're all used to running a lot of the Navy package, right? Kuzan, Borsalino, brand new, Sabo. But it's not running, Rebecca Hina Lucci. It's not running anything like that. So it plays entirely different in comparison to the other black leaders like Gecko Moria and also Sakazuki. Although Perona runs a lot of those same cards in the black package, including the new 8-cost Gecko Moria, because that card is such insane value that, of course, you run it as a 4 of in every single black deck. So without further ado, let's kind of get into it a little bit and talk about the deck, what it does, and each card's place. So start things off here. We got the Perona Leader. She has 2 effects. You can rest one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less, or up to one of your opponent's characters gets -1 cost during this turn. That's effective. Mainly use the first ability, but the second one does have, its work and combos as well in this deck, such as, let's hop into it, X-Drake. So, for example, if, say, somebody's 5 cost swung into you last turn, you could use leader ability to make it a 4 cost, play X-Drake for 5 Dawn, and it'll KO up to one of your opponent's 4 cost or less characters. So, X-Drake, super sick card, 5 cost, 6k body. Definitely gets its value. Very strong card. Next, we're going to go with Dofi. This also just combos really well with the Perona ability of resting things. When you're able to rest things, they attack, force situations, whether it's blockers or big swings, stuff like that, and you're able to freeze them. It could really swing the game in your favor. And that's what this Dofi is here for. Combos really well with the Perona. Just makes sense. So to complement that, we're also going to run a little bit more of the Doflamingo package. So we have the Don Quixote Rosinante, which is just a 2-cost blocker, but it's still very good, very strong, and is searchable off of this Baby 5, which, we use it to essentially find our Dofi. But just in case, so it doesn't whiff, we can also hit our Rosinante, and we can hit a Virgo because it's Navy and Don Quixote. So this Virgo is just a 2k counter. It has a good ability, but you're more than likely just going to use it as a 2k counter. And this can be searched off of Baby 5 and the brand new. So, I do whiff a little bit more with brand new, also whiffing a little bit with Baby 5. But it is developed to have a little bit of package around it that that should minimize the chances of whiffing. After that, we have Ryuma, which this card is absolutely nutty, right? Similar to X-Drake, where we have a 5 cost, 6k that KOs a 4 cost or less. We have a 4 cost, 6k that on play KOs a rested character, and then on KO will also tap a rested character. So if they, this card is great on curve. It's also great after curve. For example, you play a Doflamingo, and then you play this card the next turn. They're not going to want to swing into it, so it's likely like a 6k body that's going to stay on board, unless they have like Houndblaze or a way to bottom deck it. They don't want to swing into this, especially after a Dofi play, because it's gonna it's just good board presence for you, right? So this is likely going to stick for a turn or two, which is really good. One thing you notice about at least this list of Perona, and obviously I think there is room to change. I think that you can fit Ice Age in here. You can fit Great Eruption in here if you really wanted to. But we have no way of tapping down things that have, 9 cost, 10 cost things. Kuzan will help with a lot of this, though. He's very strong, very good to have on curve. Draws a card, and he's going to be able to help you reduce things. So you can do something like swing on an 8 cost or tap down an 8 cost, make it a 4. And then use leader effect, play Ryuma the next turn. So, 8 is our number with this deck. We can go 10 if we feel like investing a Suru and a Kuzan swing. but 8 is kind of the sweet number for this. Like I said, there is room for moving, I think, to fit in kind of great eruptions and stuff like that in ice ages. So keeping going, we have Sewer, we have our 2K, and then our emergency reduction if we need it. Mainly 2K, but like I said, you can combo it with the Kuzan swing, bring something big down to that magical number 4, so we could tap it, and then we can Ryuma, X Drake, etc. Even Doflamingo. If we can, no, we can't even Dofi. So yeah, it would purely be just to tap it into a Ryuma or X Drake play. After that, we got the 4 of Borsalino. Borso's pretty good. It'll always be Borsalino, really good. I do think in OP06, Borso loses a little bit of his footing. He doesn't feel as great into, like Sakazuki, even Perona, because Perona could just tap this. Like, cool, it's a 5K body blocker, but I'm just going to tap it every time. Even swing at it, deal with it while it's on board. So it's not necessarily good as a blocker if you're going against Perona. It's going against it's just, you might as well just use it as another swinger, to be honest. Sakazuki's just always going to bottom deck it, so Moria is the only one that doesn't really have a consistent answer to this. So I do feel like it loses its footing a little bit in OP06, but for the most part, it's doing its good. So it's still good here. Like I said, Virgo, 2K counter, 5 cost 5K. Not terrible if you have to play it, I guess, but definitely worth keeping as 2K. Brand new search, and then Sabo, running 4 of Sabo here, just a great card. Keep our defensive high, and then of course the Gecko Moria, insane card. So there are turns here, which is insane, right? You can tap down with Leader Effect a 4 cost or something, play Moria. And then with Moria search, you could play a Ryuma, and then you can set up your defensive by playing, Rosinante, or you can even play brand new, do some more searching. Pretty insane card. Its value is nutty. Anticipating this card getting hit in the upcoming announcement of restrictions and bans after Worlds. Good thing is that this deck still functions without Moria, right? Like, If it gets restricted to like 1 of, I think this deck still functions fine, and you're honestly probably okay with that, because now we can fit in 3 Ice Ages or 3 Great Eruptions or whatever we need, because it really only takes 1 to swing the board back into your favor. Next we have 2 of Brook. This is a 6 cost. This card's really funny. It's really cool. What it does is it just puts one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less into their trash, or you can force your opponent to put 3 cards from the trash to the bottom of their deck in any order. So this is good going against Sakazuki, right? If their trash is low, you can force them out of a Lucci play. You can force them, they force tempo in your favor. But also, it's a strong answer to Borsalino because it doesn't say KO on the card. It just says puts in trash. So this says can't be KO'd by effects. This doesn't KO it. It just puts it in trash. So it's a work around the Borsalino. Very strong card. It's more of a tech card for black, but also comes in handy in other matchups as well. So good one to have as a 2 of in here. Up next, we have Tashigi. This is, again, to help with our kind of removal thing. Probably more valuable than the Suru. It's another body on board that you could tap for -2, but also in emergency cases has more 2K counters in it. So that means we have 10 2K counters in this deck, which is pretty good. After that, we have 2 events of whoever wins this war becomes Justice. Trash a card from your hand. Your leader gets plus 3,000 during this battle. Just some more defense. We're going to play really defensive. So that's the deck list, kind of how the breakdown of this works. Without further ado, let's hop into a game. All right, here we go. Hop into a game here, and we're going against Yamato. This character, or this leader is really insane in OP06, the double strike. So things can really get out of control really fast. Luckily, we have a pretty good... I think we have a pretty good matchup here. I'm going to like to keep my hand here. I don't necessarily play anything on 2, but I have Borso on 4, which is, I think, really important. And I end up drawing the brand new anyways, going to the Kuzan. But yeah, playing the Borso on 4 going to be able to keep me healthy against this Yamato. That's just going to swing, like as you can see here, right? So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to have to counter out early. We're giving her card advantage really soon, but the thing is like Yamato is not going to play cards like that. And so we have to be able to keep our card advantage. So our life healthy. So we're going to go ahead and swing 5 at life. Probably going to give it to us and see if we get a counter or a trigger. We don't. And yeah, I think I'm just going to play the Kuzan here, draw a card. I end up getting another 2k counter out of it, which actually works out pretty well. Probably thinking about it, should have gone Borso there to set up the defense like I was talking about. But if they play any character this turn, I'm going to be able to deal with it pretty easily with the Ryuma. So that's kind of the idea of going with the Kuzan there, getting it on board early. Of course, they're just going to swing 8k. We're going to take it here. I mean, it's early. We have board presence. So it works out well for us. They're going to go ahead and play this Hiyori, which allows them to take a life and then put whatever card they want at the top of their life, which is a very strong ability. So let's kind of see. What do we think the best play is here? We're sitting on 6 Dawn this turn. I'm going to go with 5 at life. Try to force cards out of hand at least, right? And I think we're okay with waiting on this Ryuma and setting up double blockers, I think is kind of what I'm thinking here. And we do get 2k out of hand. And yeah, so we're comfortable with swinging 5 at life here because we're going to set up the double blockers. We do hit. And this kind of changes our perspective, right? This is why you wait. Instead of going the double blockers, he does hit a trigger. And now we could just kind of deal with this trigger immediately. So we're just going to go ahead and rest it since it is a 4 cost. Yep. And then we're going to play the Ryuma and just get rid of it immediately and set up a blocker. So, you know, instead of going double blocker, we were able to get board presence with a 6k body on board and set up a blocker. It works out really well for us. So 7 Dawn turn play here for our opponent. Let's see. Got a Momonosuke. Do some searching. It's fine with us for sure. Five Dawn play, so if they swing at Kuzan, we protect the Kuzan so that way we can remove anything that comes our way. Also, if they swing at us, we protect ourselves. So I think regardless, we're blocking out here for sure. Okay, gonna go for the Izo. Rest our blocker, so we're not gonna get that opportunity. Really unfortunate. Luckily, we have the counter in hand, and we're going to go ahead and counter out. So already down to 5 cards in hand. It's okay. Sitting at 8 Dawn, we have the board advantage as well. We have a direct answer to this Izo. And I think this Izo might be kind of worth removing, right? It's a 2k out of their hand, but also it's a lot of pressure, right? Because now all of a sudden he has another thing that can swing 5 at us. So it's probably worth removing this turn and also just getting a bigger body on the board, another 6k body. So yeah, we're just going to start going 5 at life and then resting the Izo. Gives us another 2k. So we're doing well. We're actually fighting really well for card advantage. 5k again. Minus the Izo, I guess. Gives us another card. Those are things you love to see. Another 6. And the reason why we're swinging first here is just like last play, just in case they hit a trigger or something like that, we can shift our play to remove. Our opponent gives us another card here. And now things are looking great. We're going to go another 5. Thought about the Izo, but I think we do want to remove it. No trigger works well for us. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and play the Ryuma, get rid of this Izo for sure. And then we'll go searching. Yep, and we will just take the Rosinante because for some reason it's also Navy, and then pass. So we're looking really good here. Blocker on board, 2 6k bodies and a 5k body. Our opponent gave us a lot of cards out of hand last turn with only 1 life as well. So we're looking pretty good here. Okay, they're going to play the Hody and rest our blocker. Really unfortunate here, but I think with cards in hand, we survive. So they're going to go 7 at life, double strike. I have a lot of counter in hand. I can counter out, I think, of this Hody. and especially if the cards in hand are counters, I'm definitely safe. So I think I'm okay to take this hit here and just get more resources in hand. And I do end up drawing both 2 more 1Ks as well. So he's going to swing 5. Yep, and we're just going to easily counter out here. And then so he has 5 cards in hand. So as long as we split our Dawn up and bait like any events, bait as much cards as out of hand as possible, we should be okay. So we're going to start with 5 at life. Gives us a 1K, gives us Gadatsu. We're going to do another 5. And this one tells me what his hand's looking like. If it gives me a 2K here, I know. Okay, and he gives me a 2K. So I know he doesn't have any 1Ks. So we're going to try to get these 2Ks out of hand. Oh, and we get the event. So 1 card in hand. There's nothing we can do. GG's. So that's Perona. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys like this type of content, leave a like, comment down, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys later. Peace.